I am joined now by Chris Bergeron, coach of the BGSU Falcons. Great to have you on today, Coach.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, this season you started off a little slow. You got 2 wins in your first 10 games, but recently in the last 15 you picked up 9. What's the biggest difference between how you started the year and where your team's playing at right now?
You know, it's something that when you're in the heart of it, it's tough to know. I think it's a combination of things. I feel like our goaltending's been better. I feel like our special teams have been better. Those are specific answers. From a general standpoint, I just feel like we were able to get a couple of wins and start to feel better about our game. And then that's momentum, that's confidence. So it's something that it was really difficult the month of October for us. And then we answered with a pretty good month of November. And then since then, it's kind of been a little bit up and down. But I think specifically our goaltending's been much more solid. And for the most part, our special teams have played the way we were expecting them to play.
Yeah, you touched on it, Coach, your goaltending. One of the factors in that has been Ryan Bednard, freshman goalkeeper. He just won the first WCHA Rookie of the Week award that he's gotten this season. How important is it for you able to get a freshman to come in right away and be able to play at a level like that?
Well, it's huge. You know, from a coach, I'm going to put my coach hat on and tell you it's nice to have competition at all positions, right? That brings out the best in people. And, you know, going into the year, it was Chris Nell's job. He was a first-team all-league guy returning. But, you know, Bednard's a 7th-round pick of Florida. We were expecting big things from Ryan. Did not start off great, as Chris didn't either. And right now, they seem to be pushing each other and I think feeding off each other, which I think is great.
With your new improved record as you're hitting a hot streak here, you've put yourself in position to possibly get a home playoff series with the new WCHA playoff format. How important is that for you to pick up wins and be able to lock that down here as the season proceeds?
Yeah, it's huge. We've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to host the last 3 years, and that, you know, if you have to get to it, that game 3 on Sunday in your rink is a lot easier than it wowould be somewhere else. Now, this group, since we've been here, we've played on the road in game 3s too, just not in this league. But we're, you know, obviously we were picked to finish pretty high this year in the league, and we haven't lived up to those expectations yet. And the next level of expectation is the first round bye the first round home ice and potentially a second round home ice, and it's important for us. And everybody knows this weekend, these are 2 teams tied for 3rd place right now, fighting for home ice. With Bemidji and Michigan Tech kind of running away from everybody, there's a bunch of teams fighting for 3rd and 4th, and it's important. It's important for us, and it's something that we still think is achievable, and it's going to depend on us being able to play more of our game more of the time.
As you said, Coach, you head to Mankato to take on Minnesota State this weekend, who, as you said, are tied with you guys for 3rd in the standings. What do you have to do this weekend in order to get some points from the weekend and be able to pass them in the standings?
Well, first and foremost, we need to give ourselves 2 opportunities, and that may sound pretty obvious, but for us it hasn't been. A lot of the times over the course of a weekend, we've been playing one good game, or the combination, a period here, 2 periods there. We need to give ourselves 2 opportunities. I mean, I literally can count on one hand how many weekends we've had where we've played 2 solid games and given ourselves 2 opportunities to win. We need to do that against Minnesota State, especially there. That's where it starts. Then specifically, we cannot turn the puck over. We cannot get into a special teams game. We need to find a way to stay 5-on-5. We need to find a way to turn their defensemen around and make them go back to their own zone and get pucks and or defend. And not saying they're not capable, but we just don't want to get into a track meet with this team. That plays into their favor. And we feel that's something that we're capable of doing. And we're going to have to be consistent with it over the course of 6 periods, or it's a long weekend for us.
And finally, Coach, your Falcons and the Mavericks, they've gotten into some pretty good games over the past couple of years since you guys have joined the WCHA. Do you look at them as a little bit more of a rival than perhaps some of the other teams in the league?
I look at them as a rival because they've established themselves as somebody we want to be in terms of winning championships. I don't know if they see us as a rival or not. A rival to me is somebody that's kind of back and forth. You win some, they win some, and they're really hard-fought games. I don't think we've lived up to our end of the bargain to truly be a rival of theirs. But they're a rival of ours because they're somebody that we want to be like based on all the winning they've done over the past 3 years. We have had some good games, but you get to WCHA Final Fives, and 2 out of the 3 years they've beaten us out and ended our season, and we just haven't had much of a pushback, or we don't have the record they have in terms of winning. So they're definitely somebody we want to be like, and in my mind, they're a big-time rival of ours. I don't want to speak for them because I know that a rivalry works 2 ways, and we at times haven't lived up to our end of the bargain.
Coach, that's all the time we got for you today. We really appreciate you joining us on today's show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.